Okay, so I was thinking like this has to be a separate video because it's own thing. It was the reason why I went to London in the first place. It was to go to the Depop Seller Summit. And I was a bit kind of confused at first because it says, oh, we formally invite you to this Seller Summit, blah, blah, blah. It was a whole process thing and you had to like send your picture off and we had to sign a NDA, which means I'm not allowed to talk about certain things. I'll go into that in a bit. But yeah, I was a bit confused because like part of the platform for years now. And I actually had 2 Depop accounts. Having 2 accounts is prohibited. I don't see why. I was selling clothing on one and then everything else on the other. I just thought like that was easier. But no, apparently it's prohibited, which is fine. Anyway, so I had to start again with my clothing one, and that's the one I got the invite from. Well, I only set that up in like, I think it was like end of April. Basically just copy and pasting, cross-listing from eBay to Depop, what a lot of people do. I haven't had the account open for long. I have been making sales and everything, that's fine. But yeah, I got this invite and I was very surprised. I was like, okay, fair enough, I'll try it out. Yeah, so I went and these are my thoughts. What is Depop? Well, thanks to our friend Wikipedia, it's a social e-commerce platform where users can buy and resell their items via a mobile app. And one of the interesting things is like during COVID, there was a spike in interest and in profits, obviously. And yeah, they've kind of dipped and everyone was like, oh no, they dipped, it's failing, it's a failed platform. It's not, it's just gone back to normal like every other online platform has. And yeah, it's the actual gross sales has actually gone up, and the active daily annual users has kind of stabilized. Registered users continue to go up, and the Depop sellers has remained at like 1.8 million, which is great. So one of the things that it's very proud of is 90% of its sellers and buyers are under the age of 26, so that makes me very old. We're inside Depop. Thank you. So I didn't want to record too much because it made me look like a bit of a spy. And yeah, there was a lot of people there, you'll see in a minute, and yeah, it just felt a bit self-conscious. But this is all the stuff that I tried to film some of the seminars that they did, and obviously I couldn't film so much because of its confidentiality agreements. So a lot of us were split up into little groups to do certain seminars. There was one on like optimization and pricing, and yeah, one on mindfulness. I asked a few questions here and there. I only managed to capture one on on actual camera, but yeah, it was really interesting. Yeah, I'm behind it. I primarily use mannequins in my pictures. I mean, is there any favourability between flat lay, models? I mean, I don't know if Charlotte knows. Have you seen an uptick in certain, pictures that you've used in sales?
I don't really think that there's that much of a difference when as long as you show the item in the best possible way. I think it's more just about making sure that you show like the details of it and like actually get a sense of like what the item would look like on. So if you use a mannequin, it's kind of similar to using a model picture as well. So
in a lot of respects, Depop has got like the finger on the button on a lot more progressive thoughts. So like mental health and mindfulness, and this is what one of the seminars was. And because they've got like quite a lot of young sellers and young people working for them, burnout is especially prominent, and it's quite a solitary job, so they've got a lot of thoughtfulness when it comes to mental health, basically. Okay, the irony isn't lost on me that I've actually made 2 sales today on Depop while in the building. Coincidence? I think not. It's really good information, actually, really interesting.
Excellent, we're almost at the end of the day. It's exciting that all of you stayed, and I've got lots of great feedback.
Platform, and each of you, our sellers, is so important because there's certain things that we can uniquely do well because of our scale or our breadth or our data, and there are other things that you can do better than Depop as a whole can do. And I think that if if we each invest in those areas and we give you the tools to do that, and you invest the time and energy, then we can really bring, we can kind of bring the best of our collective efforts to bear. So with that in mind, I think that's a kind of a good framework to think about marketing. We invest in marketing nationally as well as regionally. We invest in marketing and promotion across lots of different types of channels. We want people to understand that whenever they're buying secondhand or whatever they're buying, that we have something really great that could fill that need.
And at the end they did these like Depop Seller Awards, which were kind of cute actually. They were quite good. There was like speediness, there was repop and depop, so like people who bought off the platform then sold it on, and there was like throughout the day we were putting up social media posts and stuff, and 10 people got chosen. I happened to be one of them, which was really like happy. And there was also like a golden ticket winner who won like, I think it was like £200 spending in like push notifications, and or just a big goodie bag. That wasn't me, that was this fella. It was pretty funny. But yeah, it was a really good day.
And then we'll take it from there with your £100 spent. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I have to talk about this NDA thing. So it's a non-disclosure agreement, if you don't know, and that means the people that sign it, you're not allowed to talk about certain things. This one was basically like, you can't talk about anything that we mention in the presentations because they are part of the IP that is Depop, and it's in a very competitive marketplace, and they want to stay competitive. They want their secrets. They don't want their secrets out in the open, which I completely understand on this point. Plus, the one thing I can say is that a lot of what was there was about 2 or 3 things that were discussed which won't really affect me, being at the level that I am. It's mainly for like professionals basically, or like more people who've had a lot more experience on Depop. So I can kind of understand why, but it's not really going to affect me on some of the things that they were saying. But I've been very careful what I'm going to talk about. It's not actually, these aren't the confidential bits, these are just the bits that I've kind of gleaned from conversations and whatnot. So a lot of the people who do well on Depop have built like quite a big social media following, and they've linked it to their Depop account, their Insta account, their TikTok and all that kind of stuff. I haven't. I've basically just been throwing stuff up and then not even bothering. And so going in, before I even got the message, the plan was to really brand my shop and really kind of set up like separate social media accounts away from like my reselling stuff and my personal accounts. I have got like a branding idea. It's all in set up. That's basically where I was with my shop. That's where I was gonna go forward. Like I say, I'm still quite a beginner when it comes to selling at a certain level. Pleasantly surprised about some of the things that they've said, and so this is just some of the things that I've kind of learned and some of the things that I can actually talk about. So the feeling when I went in, it was very kind of like, first off, you never really get to see the office, and it was like peeking behind the curtain of like a big multi-million-dollar corporation. And it was really like what you'd expect. It's really what you would expect a tech company to kind of look like. But the vibe was very enthusiastic, like, yay, welcome to Depop, yay. And it was like, you are the community, yay, we love our community so much. It's like, yay. It was all very like that. That's very corporate, very kind of like, please, we're all a family, that kind of thing. And it's fine. I've been to 3 events in a week for 3 different companies, and it was very similar. They were all very kind of like, yay, we're the best, like, we love our clients, and all this. It's like, okay, calm down. Okay, so like I mentioned before, they are encouraging lots of kind of content connectivity. So say like if it was to sell this, maybe take some lifestyle shots, or to go out and do like faux fashion shoots. You leverage your following, or if you can build a following through social media for your shop, that's how you gain interest. That's how you spike interest to like and then possibly purchase. If you're running like a discount for a week on certain items, you can promote it through social media. You can do paid promotions and stuff like that through social media. So they're encouraging you to be very content kind of driven, which absolutely fine, because that's kind of what I was going to do anyway. I suppose these are all like the same thing, because I've been to 3 different events to do with reselling and clothing reselling, and optimizing your listings is like a big one. And yeah, so specifically with Depop, you know, follow the styles and trends. Like Gorpcore is very in at the moment. You know, which celebrities have been wearing certain items, are they influenced? You can't put that in the listing, but you can put it in your social media. So you can put like something like Doja Cat wore, and then if you found something similar, you could like put them side by side and put it on a link and say, oh well, this is ours, you know, that kind of thing. Do you remember when Balenciaga did the IKEA bag? It was a bit like that. You could say, but buy a £5 IKEA bag here. Like, and loads of people made loads of money on second-hand IKEA bags. It was so funny. Anywho, so yeah, and price competitively, that was one thing. People are very price conscious. One thing I learned at the eBay one, which they talked about at the Depop one, was that secondhand is continually getting bigger and bigger, and it's the fastest growing within the clothing market. It's the fastest growing kind of sector in the clothing market. And because like we're in a cost of living crisis, everybody's like tightening their belts a little bit. Everyone's like wanting to get something a bit cheaper. And like when you put on a discount, instead of like just reducing your, if you put something up for £50, don't reduce it to like £40. Put a discount on, because when they see, they'll be like, ooh, I'm getting a discount. Ooh, it's that kind of like feeling. Whenever you go into a shop and you see like 2 for 1, or you see like a reduction, you're like, oh, that's worth it. It's like inbuilt in our brains now. If you've had something on the platform for about a year and it's not sold, maybe it's to do with the pictures or the listing or the pricing. And just because you paid so much for it, we'll just think you've had it on there for ages. Would you rather reduce it and get a little bit of something, or just continually get nothing? That's kind of the mindset I'm in at the moment. Like, I'm not losing money on anything because I get it stuff so cheap. But if say like something was selling for like £25, I'd be happy to take 15 at the moment if it's been on for a certain amount of time, because then it's still £15. I probably paid about £1 for it, £2. I'm still making £10 instead of making like £15 to £20. Yeah, just because I just want it gone. The most ideal thing is if it sells for full asking within a day. That's like the dream, but that's not happening. But yeah, so pricing competitively. Another one, push and promote as much as possible. So, you know, on a certain social media, I think it's like on when you click share your shop, it comes up with like 4 different windows, and you can pick which items, so you can really choose a variety to make it look. And if you've curated a certain style of shop, say it's just sportswear, you could do hoodies, tracksuits, trainers, that kind of thing, and it can really promote the feel of your shop. Picturing your items clearly, making sure that all the details are sorted. If there's any imperfections, make sure you've done that kind of thing. Yeah, make sure there's good lighting, natural lighting, box lighting some people use, and all the equipment is like online on Amazon and everything, so you can possibly find it. I'll put in down below like links, affiliate links to like box lighting sets and stuff like that. You can get them dirt cheap on Amazon. I'm lucky, I've got like a strip light, and I've got like a window, and I've got another light on the other side, so my photos are pretty decent. One thing I can debunk in terms of like Depop conspiracies, which everybody talks about, is or everyone was talking about for a hot minute, was, oh, flat lay does better, the algorithm likes flat lay. Oh, but models do better. Do not put your stuff on hangers, don't put it on a mannequin, do that, you know. And it's like, it doesn't matter. That's what they've said. They said it doesn't really matter. It's engagement that matters, and like, is the click-through rate good, you know? So if whatever is appealing to a person, personally, what's weird is I understand how like lifestyle and models, like people are clicking and think, oh, that's cool, that looks good, but a mannequin is just the same, but it's not, or like posy and all that. I've got a mannequin and I use it all the time. I do flat lay on like trousers, bottoms, some tops, but mainly it's a mannequin, and it's a plain white background. It's nothing fancy. Some people put like all different things in the background. I mean, I was playing with the idea of putting these lights behind, but it might ruin, like, I don't know, it might ruin the effect of just the initial piece. So yeah, there's lots of different ways you can like adapt it. I was putting maybe like so you know it's yours, like maybe putting like your, like if you've got a logo, maybe putting it in the corner, right, drawing it on like at the back or something. Do you know what I mean? Like something like that. Oh, one thing that they mentioned, or one of the speakers mentioned, which I can talk about obviously, is that the video function can be quite helpful. If you've got an item with some imperfection on it, instead of just taking a picture, just go in and zoom in and do it from all different angles, so they can see if there's like if there's tiny amount, they can see how big the market is in comparison to, you know. And I thought, I didn't even think of that. That's a really good idea. I just take a picture and be done. But like a video gives them a more accurate example. You know, if you pull in from like further away and go forward, and then, you know, turn, if that imperfection is more prominent at certain angles, you know, because like sometimes you get that. Sometimes you get like a stain and you can't see it at the front, but then like if you move a little bit, then yeah, do you know what I mean? It can be a bit iffy, but that's a really good tidbit of information I picked up, and it's so obvious. I was like, of course. Hashtags is a funny one because everyone's like, make sure you got hashtags, make sure. It doesn't matter. It doesn't actually matter. In fact, if you over hashtag, or if you put in stuff that, if you put in stuff that is irrelevant, or even like in the description box, that's what it takes out in certain keywords. Being as accurate as possible. The verbiage in certain listings, like wonderful, marvelous, lovely, you know, you don't need to do that. Literally just put brand, style, size, gender, you know, all that kind of stuff. Search criteria, so they want to get as accurate as possible from your listing to the customer. Personally, I like, weirdly, one of the things is I don't get anything specific. The only thing specific I search for on Depop is trainers, and they found like trainers is like obviously one of the fastest growing markets. But like, yeah, I usually just put Nike Air Force 1 12, because then it comes up with that's all, and then I just want to have a browse, and then I saw through like, you know, either newest first, or like I'm price conscious, so like price lowest first, you know what I mean? So it's that kind of thing. But oh yeah, and offers, sending offers. So right now, it's only available on iOS. That's not a secret. That's out there in the public. But I did ask, like, will they be looking at Android? And they said, yeah, for sure, definitely. But they said the web version is probably going to come up a bit quicker. Also, a lot of people in the reseller community that I've had conversations with, they've all been talking about, oh, do you think Depop is going to do like a live selling function? Or a live selling feature? And yeah, so they said discussions have been had and we're keeping an eye on it. That's basically all they said, and I was like, oh. So I think they said, what did she say? They said it's not a priority, and I think they're just watching this space. That's it, which is understandable. I mean, they're not going to put millions of dollars in research and trying to adapt like this whole new feature when it could be just a bubble. And Poshmark could just fizzle out by the end of the year. So that's basically kind of all I can talk about when it comes to that, the actual like nitty gritty stuff. I'm not gonna lie, a lot of it doesn't really apply to me. However, a lot of stuff a lot of things that they talked about that I'm going to implement into my business and my Depop shop, I was going to do anyway. And some of the things that I've gleaned a lot of like information, or they've like reinforced like, okay, I can do this, I need to do this. What was my opinion on like the event? Well, it was fun. They tried their best to make it as like it wasn't like, oh, let's all go to Depop school. It wasn't anything like that. It was very kind of like fun, very social, very kind of like laid back. And yeah, they provided like drinks and snacks and stuff like that, and they pizzas at the end of the day. I got to meet quite a lot of people. There's Depop Seller. I'll put his link down below. His name's also George. So yeah, go check him out. First off, he does this part-time, and I looked on, I was having a ride through his shop. His is so professional. He is a top seller though, but his is so professional. Mine's like dog's dinner compared, like it's really boring. Mine, like his has got like really nice background on it, and is, yeah. Oh, what else did they do? Oh, got a load of freebies. Also, everyone who attended the event gets a 20% off Fleek. I know. We'll see. I'm gonna have a route around, see what's there, but we'll see. Oh yeah, I won £100 in Depop credit. It was just posting some social pictures and stuff like that, and then tagging them, and then they picked like 10 of them, and I was one of them, which was really nice. So I got £100 of Depop credit. I could buy stuff off Depop and then sell it on eBay, but I'm not. I'm gonna buy myself some new Nikes. Well, these ones that I got these off Depop. Oh, hang on. These were perfect condition, by the way, before I got hold of them, and I've only had them for like just over a year. Look at Like the nice Air Force ones and everything, but I've used them so much. They're like marshmallowy pink ones, but I've seen some really nice ones which I want. So we'll see. They have to herd in a lot of young people around. I'm not young at all, although we were in a conversation and it was like, they said, oh, we're all 20-somethings, and I was just like, I can pass a 20-something? Yeah, and I didn't correct them. It was a day event, I'm not going to tell them how old I am. So, yes, I went. I would encourage anyone, if it pops up on your kind of thing and they ask you to come to it, just try it, go for it, because it's one, it's good fun. Two, you get to, say if you don't live in London, you get to go down to London, make a weekend out of it like I did. And yeah, it's just one of those, isn't it? It's one of those nice little things. But this is like the third thing I've done in terms of reselling. I've put myself out there, and I don't really go to socials or anything, and I don't really go to these kind of like events. They can be a bit too much and a bit too kind of like. I'm not anxious, I've got anxiety. I'll go to it, but it can be hard work. And this didn't feel like hard work. This was very kind of like tailored to be very relaxed, very kind of like, oh, let's talk about the business. And they had some really good speakers who are all sellers on Depop. What I liked about it as well, like a lot of the people that work at Depop obviously sold on Depop, but they sold before they worked there. Do you know what I mean? Like, so some people have had like Depop shops for like 10 years. Not 10, some people have had like Depop shops for like 6-7 years, and they've started working there like 2 years ago. So they know the business and they sell, so they know personally what it's like to be both buyer and seller and everything. So yeah, I did really enjoy it, and I'd recommend it. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.